Yo, what's up, guys? We got some new class changes that just came out. Class changes and tier sets. I want to tell you about them. I want to get you guys hyped up for Death Knight in 10.2. So let's get right into this. Unholy Assault now increases all damage dealt by 20% instead of granting 20% haste. That's really good. We can, that's going to be 20% damage on top of everything. And all the multipliers are going to work together. It's going to lead to some really big damage. Raised Dead main ghoul damage increased by 10%. So they buffed our original ghoul, and when it's dark transformed, it's going to be even stronger too. Summon Gargoyle reduced by 30%. We don't even play Gargoyle right now in any builds for PvP, that is. So not really that really doesn't matter at all in my opinion. Even though there could be some pet builds that we play in the next patch, but I don't actually think that matters. Soul Reaper buffed. This is whatever. I still don't think we're personally going to play Soul Reaper. It's kind of trash, right? But in PvP, that is. Army of the Dead damage of the ghouls reduced by 25%. The way I see Army of the Dead is, I see Army of the Dead as a global that I run and impress for my tier set, right? Like, it's such a long cooldown. You only really get one a game. It is what it is. This doesn't really matter. Ghouls summoned by Apocalypse now have their own scaling from the Death Knight stats, separate from the Army of the Dead. So I'm going to assume that this means that the army of the Apocalypse ghouls are going to be stronger than the army ghouls, is what I'm thinking here from this, right? And then they can tune the ghouls individually, is what they're looking for. Apocalypse ghoul damage increased by 12%. So Apocalypse only gives you 2 ghouls now, right? It gives you 2 ghouls, but apparently the ghouls are going to scale with our stats. So the ghouls might end up being really strong, those 2 ghouls. But the way the tier set works, I might still end up not even, I might just play Necromancer's Bargain and not even have those ghouls, but I'll explain why once we get to the tier sets. So the next thing we have here, Death Coil damage increased by 12%. This is massive. This is already our top damage. Doomburst Coils are huge. Scourge Strike damage increased by 12%. Again, huge Clawing Shadows. Festering Strike damage increased by 20%. This is kind of just extra damage. It's whatever, rotationally, right? Festering Wound damage increased by 10%. Wounds are also massive. That's what's giving us the huge Doomburst, the huge Apocalypse, like the big chunking damage, right? So those are the DK changes right there. All in all, this is a buff. This is an overall buff, significantly, I would say. So there's that. You should definitely get excited for that. There isn't any Frost changes currently, or Blood, but don't be disappointed about that yet, okay? Because the Frost tier set is absolutely disgusting. Like, let me just explain these to you now, okay? So we're going to take a look at the tier sets here. So I'm going to skip Blood because we're talking about PvP Ascent mostly here. Actually, we'll just read over it quickly. Consuming a Blood Shield charge has a chance to cause your next Heart Strike to apply Ashen Decay, reducing damage dealt to you by 10%, increasing your damage dealt to the afflicted target by 20%. So that's okay. Soul Reapers execute damage, and Abomination Limbs damage applies Ashen Decay to enemy targets. And a Heart Strike and Blood Boil's direct damage extends Ashen Decay by 1 second. So Ashen Decay is the thing that makes you do more damage and take less, right? So there it is. For those of you that are going to play Blood, there it is. Anyways, this is where it gets crazy, though. This is where it gets bananas. So for Frost, the 2-piece tier bonus is going to be Chill Streak's range is increased by 4 yards and can bounce off of you, okay? So the range increase is already really nice, but the bouncing off you is crazy, okay? Before we even read the rest of this, I'm going to explain this to you. So the fact that it can bounce off you means that you can always get a chill streak, right? Think about those matches where you're like against double caster or something where it's really annoying to get one, or solo shuffle, right? It's really annoying. You're trying to get your immortal stun and then someone will DR something or do something that messes it up. You can just do singular goes on people with chill streak. Like say someone has no trinket, you could just grip them behind a pillar, remorseless winter stun them yourself, and then just bounce with the chill streak. And since the range of the chill streak is increased, you can essentially just, when they're walking away from you, they'll be slowed by your remorseless, right? Or your chains of ice. You can just keep getting all the bounces just by walking right beside that person. And when the bounce bounces to you, it doesn't count as a bounce. So you can get like 20 bounces on one person. Okay? And then also, so that's about potentially a million damage in one global, by the way. And then each time chill streak bounces off an enemy, your damage is increased by 4% for 10 seconds, okay? Stacking up to 5 times. Which it shouldn't be hard to get 4 bounces. Or sorry, it shouldn't be hard to get 5 bounces when you're getting, like, hypothetically 20, right? Or however many, sorry. Not 20 bounces, but you know what I mean. you're getting all the bounces on that one target, because it doesn't count the bounces on you, right? So if it's going to bounce that many times, it's going to bounce that many times onto the kill target, right? And then each time chill streak bounces off an enemy, your damage is increased by 4% for 10 seconds. Oh, sorry, we read that already. Anyways, the 4-piece for this is chill streak can bounce 2 additional times, and each time it bounces, you have a 40% chance to gain a rune, reduce chill streak's cooldown by 5 seconds, or reduce the cooldown on empowered rune weapon, okay? So we're going to be getting like 12 bounces at chill streak, I feel like. If as long as you walk beside the person, you're going to get a lot of bounces. So 12 bounces, we'll just assume that 40% chance. We'll say like 5 times it reduced the cooldown of something. So you could be getting your chill streak cooldown down to 30 seconds. You could be getting a lot of stuff, right? So you could be potentially playing Ice Cap, and since Remorseless Winter is 30 seconds now, you could be doing a 30-second Remorseless Winter chill streak go with just yourself and the person. You don't even need any crazy AoE setup or anything like that. So that's pretty insane. I'm not going to lie. The 4-piece and the 2-piece for Frost is absolutely crazy, and it makes Frost playstyle significantly more fun and less of a pain in the ass. So for the Unholy, we have the set bonus here for 2 pieces. Apocalypse summons an additional Magus of the Dead. Your Magus of the Dead Shadow Bolt now fires a volley of Shadow Bolts at up to 4 enemies. So every time you Apocalypse, you're going to have, because we already play the Magus talent, right? So every time you Apocalypse, you're going to have 2 Maguses. And I'm going to play Necromancer's Bargain more than likely, so my Apocalypse is a 30-second cooldown. So I'm basically going to have 2 Maguses going for 50% of the arena, right? 50% uptime. And the Maguses are going to be cleaving everything in the game. So I'm probably going to go a lot of haste, and the Maguses are just going to be letting it rip, right? Kind of like BFA Season 4 if you played it all. And then the 4 set is going to be, each rune you spend increases the duration of your active Magus by 0.5 seconds, and your Magus will now also cast Amplified Damage, increasing the damage dealt by 5 seconds. So say the Magus duration is 15 seconds, right? And you have 2 Maguses going for 15 seconds, and you're just spamming runes because you have a lot of haste. You might be almost able to get almost 100% uptime on those 2 Maguses that are just spamming AoE on every single person, right? Like they're cleaving. So that sounds really fun to me. I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to this. I really like the Maguses from BFA, so I like to have multiple Maguses. It's fun. I'm willing to sacrifice my Apocalypse pets for short Apocalypse just to have 100% Magus uptime, because it'll basically be like now, right? Like Clung Shadows, double Maguses and coils, and it'll just be me coiling it up, Doomburst coiling with the Clung Shadows with huge Apocalypses, and then the Maguses will just be there doing their thing too, right? So all in all, I'm pretty excited about all these changes. I think everything looks great for Death Knight in terms of the tier sets and the changes. All in all, it's a buff for both for sure. So yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to show you guys this, give you guys my takes, so you know what I think about all this, and you can get excited for 10.2 just like me. The tier set looks great too, so it is what it is. There's lots to get. Anyways, chat, I will see you guys next time, and yeah, take it easy. Peace.